Welcome back, everyone, to the Hearthstone Masters Tour. As you can see, some of the players in the PC Bong. Looks like the French crew has assembled with Tars, Kalix, and a few others. And you see Surrender from SK Telecom, a home countryman, as well as a very popular fan favorite in the Asia Pacific region. All chilling and getting ready for the next round, and ultimately who is going to make the top 8 cutoff. I'm Frode. I'm joined by Gia. We're going to be bringing to you the next match, which features another Chinese player.
Yeah, over in round 11, we did get to see already a match between Yang Bonggun and Magoho, who has been on a tear, but now we're going to see who else has that possibility of making it to the top 16. BLGMelody, a Chinese player with Reno Mage, is up next, up against, sorry if I'm butchering the pronunciation, but Felkeine, who I think very recently took home a W at the Solary Party, which was a tournament that was LHS right before the expansion dropped.
That's right. It was a fun party event, a house party event, or house cup, whatever you want to call it. A gathering of friends and Hearthstone players over in Europe, and it's a really good reminder of where we came from. I think a lot of the time those old invitationals were some of people's favorite memories dating back to competitive Hearthstone. Now that we have these big opens where you see your friends in large groups in different points of the world, people kind of forgotten that where Hearthstone originated from, all those fun invitationals.
It is true, and we are going to be going into a Reno Mage mirror, and I've been dodging Mage mirrors all weekend long, but today I need to face the music, and the music starts with Zephyrus the Great. It crescendos into Coin Pocket Galaxy and probably hits the bridge at some point with the Mountain Giant and Conch Calling.
Wow. You're trying to flex on everyone with your musical knowledge, your classical music training, or theory as they call it.
Oh, Wild Growth too. Is that, man, I can't think of a term for that.
Isn't that the crescendo?
It should be, right? So
the,
I messed it up.
Climax is the
You messed up my flex.
the Pocket Galaxy, and the diminuendo is opponent's life total.
Ah.
I don't know.
Dan, you're throwing out terms that I haven't used in over half my lifetime.
Another flex, all right.
Yeah. I got owned. Plain and simple.
Well, I mean, I followed along up until the crescendo part there, because Melody does have some plays with the Stargazer Luna, but it doesn't seem like there can be anything that can challenge this Pocket Galaxy.
I did only get the inspiration for that metaphor because his name is Melody, but
oh,
yep.
Well done.
So Felkeine here, even though I was gonna say, even though Wild Growth looks really good because he can just play Galaxy on curve, I feel like Luna is a card that must be respected. I didn't hate just pinging there.
Oh, Commander Orisa. So that's an interesting one because it's your secrets trigger twice.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if there's any big application outside of the one that copies minions. I don't think like Counter Spell, for example, double counters the Pocket Galaxy.
Mirror Entity could be a good one.
Yeah, Mirror Entity, Splitting Image, and Spellbender probably.
Right. In any case, Felkeine still gonna hold on to the Galaxy and recognize that most likely this Giant is going to stick, in which case he can go for double Conch Calling and try and seal the game before Galaxy even gets to be relevant.
That's right. Now, Melody does have a very interesting scenario where Barissa Linchin gets a second copy of Electra Storm Surge in Melody's hand, which means that you can actually Conjure Calling twice.
I've not seen that interaction. I'm not sure if it works because the original target is gone by the time you play a Conj, but I'm curious. I hope we get to see it.
Well, we might not get a chance for it to be relevant. Felkeine has the Conjures Calling ×2, and we kind of talked about this Pocket Galaxy, but I mean, good old-fashioned Conjures Calling into Mountain Giant and Grave Horror, making it difficult for Melody to answer this.
Right. So he's like too short of being able to clear everything with Reno and Double Trade, I think. One short. That's unfortunate. No, too short. I can't do math.
Is it? So if you double tap into this, I mean, there's 17 health on the or 19 health on the board. 17 health. I can't count.
Wow. Why did I think for a second that Reno dealt 15? That is okay. That it would be way too OP.
I mean, it still wouldn't even be enough if you dealt 15, like
Yeah.
you said.
So I made a mistake and then made another mistake on top of the mistake, and then it became completely unintelligible. Classic
true
caster
Hearthstone
moves.
player. I mean, we've all been there as Hearthstone
Okay.
players too.
In any case, Melody, the Flame Strike is short of being able to clear the 7-5. And that preemptive Doomsayer from Felkeine looked weird, but he's setting up for empty board Pilgrim. And he's also making it so that if BLG spends resources on dealing with the Doomsayer, there's most likely not enough resources to deal with the other two giants, which means Felkeine just has lethal. That's actually a very smart play from Felkeine. I mean, it's so counterintuitive to go for Doomsayer when you feel so far ahead.
Agreed. Usually you want to preserve the board and you play like, you know, other minions. It was well done.
Yeah.
Now here comes the Stargaze Luna train. Stopped a little short.
Yeah. I was looking at Pilgrim because of specifically Power of Creation, but I guess it wasn't all that likely to get specifically that card at that point.
What can Melody do in this spot? There is Flame Strike, but doesn't answer everything. In fact, the power on the board stays fairly comparable. Power of Creation has a lot of misses. Tortolan Pilgrim. Frost Nova, perhaps?
Yeah. I mean, maybe I'm conditioned to overreact to Luna, but I like the Flame Strike purely because it could stop card draw.
I mean, this might lead to game-ending damage.
In all likelihood.
Sure.
If not this turn, then next.
Sure.
So we're looking for Caligos, I think. And going for the Magnetize here, despite their being a frozen minion, is purely, I think, to save board space for Felkeine.
Yes, you don't want to crowd the space too much. You know that the 5/2 is going to die anyway, so you don't need to trade it in. I don't think the extra 3 life is a big difference maker right now, given that Melody does not have the Pocket Galaxy up for them. So, I think Melody is in trouble and might have to rely on Puzzlebach of Yoxfron to bail out of the game here.
And with that in mind, he's just going to take the turn to remove as much damage and freeze as much damage as possible. Felkeine still is able to push the 3, so something like Caligos into Pyroblast could seal the game.
Yes. Tortolan Primalist. Tortolan Pilgrimist. Power of Creation, but only pulls the Lord of the Arena. Is there a miracle about to happen here?
He's got 10 shots at it.
Only needs 1, really. Just clear the board. But development would be great, too. Okay, card draw.
So what's the dream here? Twisting Nether into another board clear effect?
Plague of Death probably is the best.
Sure, yeah.
All right, summoning stuff. Power of Creation.
Whoa, those have charge.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Wait, there's Beakered Lightning as well. Wait, no. Okay, wait, that already happened.
Give your minions Mega Divine Shield. But yeah, that's not removing enough damage no matter which 2.
Yeah. All right, that's going to be game number 1. Over to Felkeine. I like the way he navigated a few turns, such as instead of going for Wild Growth into Pocket Galaxy, chose to develop into the Giant.
Right.
And I think that led into some really nice setup turns, including the Doomsayer. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, that identification of playing a Doomsayer, even though you're technically ahead on board, knowing that it's very unlikely that his opponent was able to swing that entire set of 3 high health minions and then play his own things, means that Felkeine, in worst case scenario, would have an empty board to himself. He could play the Pilgrim and try to get Power of Creation, or because he drew something to pair with Luna, try and get that train.
Yes, so that ended up being a really nice win there for Felkeine, and then we'll see if he can continue that momentum going into the second game. Whether they switch to secondary or tertiary, I think it's yet to be seen. Have you seen a lot of mages be teching for the mirror with their secondary, tertiary list, or do you think they've been fighting against some of the other classes out there?
I think definitely more of the latter. It seems like the default philosophy for building a mage specialist lineup has been to just have your main deck be as good as possible against the field, which has that side effect of just being good against mage, and then have a secondary for aggro, a tertiary for warrior, and then just go from there. So I expect that both players would still be on their primary, but let me take a look at what exactly they're running.
Okay, well, Melody has the
Ooh.
Pocket Galaxy in the opening hand with the coin, so perhaps an opportunity to switch it back over.
He is running King Ferris in the primary as well as his secondary, so he's already a bit more on the greedy end with the primary, so I still cannot tell which of the lists he's on. Sorry, there is no Sandbinder in the secondary, so that does confirm he's staying on his primary. Sandbinder with Siamat is pretty cool.
Yeah, Sandbinder, Siamat, or Sandbinder into Zephyr. Just really cool interactions there. You throw in the Mountain Giant. Seems like Sandbinder has lots of great hits. Okay, all right. So when a game gets to this point, I think it becomes a lot more fun as opposed to one player having the Pocket Galaxy versus not. I'm sure that's a very controversial opinion. Most people would probably prefer to see one player stopped, but endlessly and mercilessly by a flurry of one-mana minions. Coin Pocket Galaxy seems really good.
By virtue of going second, Melody will be able to go Pocket Galaxy first by saving the coin, and that means he'll be the first to put the threats down onto the board, assuming Felkeine goes for Galaxy this turn, and I'm sure he will, with nothing better to develop, even if he had that option. So, Sandbinder, all of these cost 0 or 1.
Smart. Divine Shield and Wind Fury seems like a really good option in this spot.
Definitely the go-to for when you're ahead on board.
Arcane Keysmith.
So Felkeine has, I think, going to do some type of Voodoo Doll play this turn. It was either Voodoo Doll with Conch Calling or Voodoo Doll Ping and Keysmith. And I think the Conch Calling gets a lot better, so I understand the reasoning for this.
Yeah, especially after you've played Pocket Galaxy. The interaction works based off the mana cost of the original card as opposed to the one that's been changed and altered by Luna, Pocket Galaxy.
So BLG very diligently testing for secrets before going for the AI, because the draw is definitely the priority here, because basically the entirety of his deck is broken now.
Ooh, a Stargazer Luna falls into Melody's hand.
For next turn, that could be game ending. I think all Melody has to do this turn is just, yeah, play Ziliax, trade off a little bit, and then get ready for the fireworks next turn. Does he even need to trade? The 2-4 into 2-2 makes, it just seems like the natural thing to do, especially since it's a decent conch target.
Okay. Reno is a card that can be used to help gain some of that tempo, and the Conjurer's Calling. I like it.
Could get some more Argent Commanders up in here, some Reckless Rocketeers. Auctioneer! That's gotta be insane.
Wait a second. A Gadgetzan Auctioneer that draws a card every time you play a spell?
Is that worth perhaps using the Rays of Frost just to get more cycle?
I think I like the Wild Growth. Oh, wow, okay.
Okay, well, we only need one card if we're trying to get that card.
Yes, so now this game has gotten quite interesting at this point. First of all, Melody has to answer this board, which with 12 life on the board and 10 or 11 damage through like a Reno Jackson hero power, doesn't seem like it's enough to clear it.
Yeah, but he's some mana short of being able to do that. This is looking like a Pocket Galaxy turn to me. Sorry, a Stargazer Luna turn, and then if things don't go that well, he can still use Frostbolt and Ping to deal with the Auctioneer.
Yeah, I mean, you can start things off with like Luna and the Doomsayer and then freeze. Doesn't seem like that's going to be the case, though. Melody pivoting and trying to kill off the Auctioneer as a priority.
Yeah, and he can still go Ray of Frost Doomsayer here. I think this is very smart because this gives him a window to be able to go off with the Luna. So what are the ways of clearing the Doomsayer here? Obviously, Siamat is in hand.
Oh, man. Well, there's
Yeah.
Antonitis into stuff.
Yeah, with the Spellbender on board, that actually means he has that extra 1 damage needed with Fireball to deal with this.
I get to Wind Fury Harpy.
Gotta be one of the better ones.
Yeah, just in terms of offensive threat generation, Melody has to answer a lot of things now.
So, Stargazer Luna, Arcane Keysmith, gotta go fast. Flame Ward seems like the only thing that can help with the board.
Oh boy, hard stop. Reno the Relicologist needs to aim correctly here. And killed the 2 targets we expected, but the 2 targets that didn't need to die.
That's a fairly okay outcome that you can expect, I suppose, from Reno. At least on paper, the board can be dealt with Flame Strike Ping next turn. But it's probably too late by that point.
Yep, Felkeine. Ooh. Well, Caligos won't discount any spells right now, given that the spell's already been played prior to playing him. No Splitting Image, no Spellbender, no Counterspell, no Mirror, not Mirror Entity, no Ice Barrier, but instead Flame Ward has been revealed. And with 24 damage over the course of 2 turns.
Writing's on the wall for
Or
Melody.
actually, even 18 damage next turn, right? Because Caligos makes it for the first Fireball free.
And that's why he held onto it this turn.
Arcane Keysmith, potentially a big lifesaver here. Counterspell to stop 1 Fireball.
So that actually makes the turn relatively awkward for Felkeine now. He has to start with this to play around Mirror Entity.
Yep, sees nothing as such. Can now Caligos discover a spell. Conjurer's Calling.
Free test of the CS here.
Yes.
He can simply chuck 2 Fireballs face, chuck the last one next turn with a ping for lethal.
Yeah, and that's assuming that there's nothing else for Melody to play around this, but Felkeine gonna just hold onto this. Last 2 Fireballs. Gets the Gilnean Riot Guard for the easy trade.
An
Hey!
Admirable's card. Please hover over it. I want to know what it's called.
Puzzle Box of Yaxaron. Okay.
2 whiffs.
Just need to destroy the board.
Kind of a whiff.
And
decent,
restore
maybe?
life.
Nope.
It's okay, but it's not doing anything.
Little too low impact from this box.
Flame Ward. Stormbringer?
Ooh.
No. Just not enough.
Sweeping Strikes with Zentimo. So if you had 2 minions on board and you Sweeping Strikes with Zentimo, then they can each hit like 3 minions, right?
Yes.
That's pretty
correct.
fun.
Zentimo would have been really funny if it was able to stick onto the board and you're able to do like fun stuff like Rays of Frost and whatnot. But overall, a very fast and systemic win here for Felkeine. We do have a couple more